Hi everyone, I wanted to talk to you about the upcoming assignment in Module 3, the Reflection Thread assignment. So let's go to our eClass page and look for the assignment and find out how we're going to find out all the details, and then I want to talk to you about them. So you'll go to our eClass page, you'll scroll down till you get to Submit Your Assignments. You'll come to the Reflection Thread Analysis, and here you will find the the little hand with the paper in it, which is where you'll submit. And when you open that up, let's open that up here and hope that my computer is going to be cooperative. Okay. Once that opens, then you'll be able to read the description of the assignment here. So there's some general information here that you'll need to read through, just talking about some of the expectations around citations in your reference list and that sort of thing, APA 7th edition. So for some of you, this might be the first time you're using APA 7th edition. So if that's the case, then I strongly recommend that you go to, pardon me, that you go to the icon that is going to take you to that information, or you can go right to the library page and you'll find the information about citations references there. And I talked about that in the introductory video that looks at the whole website or the whole eClass site. So hopefully you've had a chance to do that, or if you have any questions about it, get in touch with me and I'll be glad to go through that with you. And I think there, oh yes, there's information here as well. Okay, so then once you've looked at that, then you'll have a look at the assignment description from the course outline. And so we have the Reflection Thread Analysis assignment. It's worth 20 marks. Each student will submit in the same file. So you're not going to submit different files, but the first thing you're going to submit is your choice of a thread. Now, what do I mean by that? It means that in the forum, what you write for your initial response, and then your responses from your colleagues and your responses to them. So the kind of conversation back and forth around what you've originally written about whatever the topic is for that module, that's your thread. And so you'll pick a thread. Now, you're not going to have a lot of choice because just the way the course is set up, we're going to have to either choose Module 1 or Module 2. So I apologize for that, but it's really the only way we can organize things. But it's an opportunity to kind of think a little more deeply about something that's come up that has spoken to you in a particular kind of way. Whoops. What's going on? There we go. Sorry about that. As I said, my computer has a mind of its own sometimes. And so you'll then submit your choice. You'll actually copy it and paste it right onto the file that you're working on. And then you'll do an analysis and reflection on your chosen thread. It'll be approximately 3 to 5 pages, double spaced, so don't panic about the number of pages. It's double spaced. Not counting the title page and references. So you've got a good, a significant amount of space to kind of think more deeply, to go to references that may come out of this course, that may be things that you thought about in other courses that has some kind of reference to what you're thinking about in that particular thread. Or you can go to the library and maybe find another reference or two. You don't have to do that, but you can do that. You won't have a lot of time for this. So I'm not expecting lots and lots of outside references, but if there's something that is particularly pertinent, then pull on that. Your analysis and reflection will be supported by course ratings and will include how your own perspectives changed, were challenged, were enhanced. So, or didn't change at all. And there maybe is a reason for that. In relation to the issue under discussion through dialogue with other forum colleagues and any other resources that inform your understanding. So in other words, the assignment is going to have 2 parts. It's going to have the thread that you'll cut and paste, and it's only there so that I know exactly what it is that you're reflecting on. So when I'm marking it, I can read through that first, and then I can look at your reflection, which will also be included in the same file. So you'll only post 1 file. You won't post 2 files. You'll just post 1. And it will include the thread and your analysis and reflection. So what do I mean by an analysis and reflection? Well, what I mean is you think thoughtfully about it, insightfully about it, using using the literature. So doing an analysis based on ideas that others have put forward about this particular thing, and your own thinking around how those ideas come together. And then once you've done that analysis, then you can kind of reflect on what meaning does this have in your own work, in your own life, because I find that this course tends to become personal very quickly because we're all gendered beings. And so, you know, there are ways in which we start thinking about things, experiences in our lives. Perhaps, you know, we begin to, if not question them, at least think about them differently or thoughtfully. So you're going to be able to reflect on that and kind of pull it all together. You'll use, well, I'll talk about that in a minute. So, so those are the 3 steps essentially, but there are only 2 parts that you're going to be submitting. So the 3 steps are choosing your thread, an analysis and reflection that you write, and then supporting those your reflection and your analysis and reflection with course readings. And if you wish to use other things, that's fine too. But you don't need to bring in a whole lot of other things. I don't think you'll need to with the number of readings that we have available to us in each of the modules, so that should be fine. Okay, please note, although the whole thread will inform your reflection, you're only going to be graded on your conceptual analysis of how your perspectives were changed, challenged, or enhanced in relation to the forum conversations on your thread. And by that, I mean that includes your analysis and reflection. All right, so let's see if we can. Okay, so let's look at the rubric. And the rubric is really in 4 parts, and each part is assigned a certain number of marks. So the mark that you see there is the maximum that you could receive. So the first part would be out of 6. Is your analysis, these are the questions I'll be asking myself, is your analysis thoughtful, coherent, and logical? Does it come together in a logical way? Does it make sense? Or is it just a collection of ideas that are kind of stuck together? So do you really make an argument? Do you really do an analysis that hangs together, where ideas feed into one another in a thoughtful way? The second part is your analysis appropriately and thoughtfully connected to assigned readings? So I'm expecting that as you're doing your analysis, you're bringing in and you're being informed by, and that would be the first step, you're being informed by and then bringing in ideas, quotes, whatever it happens to be. You need to use a lot of quotes. You can always reword what somebody has said and then reference them, that sort of thing. But are you actually attaching your ideas to the readings in a thoughtful way? And an appropriate way too. And by that I mean you're not just kind of cherry picking something. So, ooh, that looks like a good quote, I think I'll stick it here. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about being informed by first, internalizing, thinking about and analyzing what someone has said, and then thinking about how that applies or how it informs what your analysis is all about. The third step is your writing organized, well edited, and grammatically correct, and largely free of errors. So here I'm looking for something that is written in a writerly way. By that I mean you tell me what you actually come up with some kind of introductory statement that tells me what you're going to be doing. You do it in a way that is, again, writerly. By that I mean your paragraphs are constructed around a key idea or an introductory idea at the beginning of each paragraph. You use your paragraphs to form a trajectory of ideas that feed on one another, that inform one another as you develop your argument, and that you conclude your paper by bringing together the threads that you have woven throughout your writing, and you tell me what they are. What at the end, this is what we know. This is what I know having written this paper. And if you have any questions or concerns about writing, then I'd be happy to talk to you. For me, writing is an important part of the process, not because it's not more important than your ideas. It is what carries your ideas. So for others to be able to gain access to your ideas, they need to be written in a way that enables us to be able to do that. Enables me to be able to do that. So a reasonably intelligent reader should be able to read your paper and know what you're talking about, and not be bumping along from idea to idea and not really sure where you're heading with the paper. So that's what I'm looking for. And again, any questions, let me know. And then the last part would be references and citations. Do you use correct APA 7th edition format? So that sounds like a lot, but you've done lots of papers before. I do expect editing. In the sense that I do a lot of editing when I'm working. And those of you who have been in class with me before know that. It's just kind of a itch I have to scratch, and it's just the way I am. So I'll apologize ahead of time for that, but I'll hope that it also is helpful to you. But I expect that you'll be doing a lot of that editing yourself. So, don't just write the paper and hand it in. When you're doing graduate work, as I'm telling people who already know this, I know, but just a reminder that you're expected to hand in your best work, work that's been thoughtfully and carefully considered and edited carefully, and then handed in. So, and I know you don't have a lot of time, especially in a course like this, but to the degree that you can, I'm hoping that you will. Okay, so that's how this assignment fits together. So it's really a matter of choosing one of those two threads and going for it. It's an opportunity for us to kind of have another conversation and to really kind of sit back and really think through something, which I hope a lot of you will do at the end of the course anyway. We're going to be barreling through it, but hopefully you'll have some time to kind of go back and just kind of rethink some of these ideas and think about what this means for your own practice and your own ways in which you do things in your school. Okay, that's it. Talked longer than I've intended to. Hopefully this is helpful. And if you have any questions at all about anything, concerns at all, please get in touch. I'm happy to talk to you about it. Okay, and we'll come up with a plan. Take care.